Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcomed to this morning's streaming, 7th of October 2018. On 7th of October 1875, the light descended from the divine library, the library of living beings. Love the ultimate freedom. Love the ultimate freedom. On 7th of October 1875, light, a spark of light, descended from the divine library that came to be known as Naqshbandi Sheikh Raghbar Dayal. Amidst his disciples and friends, he was known as Chacha Ji, popularly called Chacha. Chacha means uncle. He was the younger brother of Naqshbandi Lalaji Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. His ways and means were very simple. Jokes, laughter, to someone nobody knows what he will give as a technique. It happened once a person came and he said, Chacha, tell me something, a prayer or meditation or something to do. Just as in English, when we are talking to someone, we say, hello gentlemen, or some other. So that was the era when Urdu was the language of the people. He said, Mia, what is your problem? He said, you go in the evening when it is dusk, you take a shower, sit down in a comfortable place, light your incense, and cry for half an hour to 45 minutes. Chacha, that is all I have to do? Yes. That is your shuggle. That's the zikr or whatsoever you call is for you to do. So as usual, first day is take a shower at the dusk, light incense, sit down in a comfortable place, and started crying. So the family members thought maybe he has remembered something of the past and he is crying. They didn't do anything. Let him cry. Second day, the same thing. Third day, the same thing, and they remain quiet. But fourth day, when it happened, the family members inquired, what is this that you are doing? Crying at the dusk time is considered to be a bad omen according to Hindus. They inquired, what are you doing this? He said, this is my prayer. My master has told me to do this prayer. My master had told me to do this prayer. He said, what kind of prayer is this that you have to sit down and cry at the time of dusk, which is a bad omen? So they went, the family members gathered together and they went to the elder brother of Chachaji, Lalaji Maharaj, Lalaji Razillah Tala, to complain what kind of prayers, what kind of worship his younger brother is giving to. So when they went and they told Lalaji, he immediately realized what was the problem. He called Chachaji, but he used to call him Nanne, means minute, a miniature form, because it was his younger brother. So sometimes we have a nickname or the home name, so he used to call him Nanne, and anytime Lalaji called Nanne, he will forget everything. Even if it's the dhoti that he was wearing is falling out, he would not care. He will just run and stand up with his head bent, hands folded in supplication in front of Lalaji. The only word he will utter, yes sir, in Hindi it is Ji Huzur. Lalaji inquired what kind of prayer you gave him to do. He said, Ji Huzur, his heart qalb was very hard. It was like a hard shell and nothing was penetrating. If your heart is hard enough, like a crust, nothing, no raindrop, no light can penetrate through that. So it was necessary for his heart to be softer, qalb. Heart is qalb in spiritual terminology. And that is the reason he was asked to cry. Lalaji just simply smiled. Who can make the heart so soft with a simple technique? When he was finished with Lalaji, he came. He asked that man, may I stop crying? You cry yourself and you make me cry also because your family members complain to Lalaji and I get to hear the talk from him. Such was the simple ways and means of his teachings. What does crying do? Crying clears the emotional disturbances and nasal decongestion. Because whenever there is an emotional disturbance, there is nasal decongestion, nasal congestion. There is phlegm in the chest area. It is blocked. So when you are crying, you are coughing, all those suppressed emotions begin to come out in different forms, and heart becomes very tender, mellow, no more pressed. Such a simple technique. This is one part. The heart is softened, but you are not connected. Heart is the source through which the energy reaches, the energy field of the Master reaches you. I can nourish you, but you have to develop your own way. It's not like your car battery. Every time I charge it with an external connection, your battery is supposed to generate its own power to run the car. So for that, there is another technique, which is you can be connected to the cosmic womb through the umbilical cord that comes from the solar plexus, to release the solar plexus, there are many techniques. Kapalbhati is one. When instead of inhaling you are exhaling, and when you are exhaling, your solar plexus moves like a bellow in and out. And with that, the tensions become released. Normally, whenever there is tension, it remains in the stomach area. So for that, laughter is the easiest way. During the laughter, first thing it happens, you cannot remain in the head. If a joke is given to you, you cannot remain in the head. Your energy will immediately move to the solar plexus, and your solar plexus will begin to move forward and backward like a bellow. It gets a release. And when it is released completely, there is no more tensions in that. Then you are connected to the cosmic womb. I have heard an old woman went to the Ministry of Legal Affairs to apply for widower's pension. She was filling the form. She was given the form to fill. And the clerk at different desk interviewed her. He said, Auntie, how long has your husband died? She answered that husband is resting at home. Husband is resting at home. The man inquired, if your husband is alive, why are you applying for the widower's pension? She said, government things takes a long time to process. By the time my pension will be approved, he will be dead. By the time the pension will be approved, he will be dead. You do not think how you are laughing, what position you are in. Energy moves immediately from head to the solar plexus. Osho has used these two techniques together, they go together. The crying and the laughter, he used this as a meditation, and it was known as mystic rose. In this, he asked the seekers to cry. First it was started 1 week crying, then 1 week laughter, but after that, the third thing which is very important, to remain silent, to absorb the everything. Then in 1989, he introduced a mini mystic rose where you do it for a shorter period of time. So such were the ways and means of Raghuvar Dayal, and his teachings were very simple. 7th of October 1875, continued to do his work, and on 7th of June 1947, he entered into Samadhi. So today we are celebrating the birth anniversary of Raghuvar Dayal, the Naqshbandi Sheikh. Love, the ultimate freedom. Love is wisdom. Love is truth. Love is renunciation. Love is bliss. Love is freedom. Love is light. The three things: life, love, and light. Love is ultimate freedom. The first sight of love is the dawn of wisdom. With first spark of love dawns the sun of wisdom, sun of awakening. Everyone wants to love and to be loved. This is the inherent wish of everyone, to understand what love is. But why is it so? Your wise men say first sight of love is the last sight of wisdom. Love is prayer groping towards dark. Love is prayer moving towards God. Love is poetry born out of sheer joy of being. Love is the poetry of the being. Love is song, love is dance, love is celebration. Love is the song of gratitude, a dance of thankfulness, a celebration for no reason at all. Love is tremendous gift that goes on showering on us to be shared with the whole universe, from dust to the divine. Love is not what you understand it to be. Hence the question arises. You inquire, everyone wants to love and to be loved. Why? Everyone wants to be loved because love is the highest religion, is the peak of religion. Love is the suprememost religion. Love is the search for God. But it remains an unconscious search in the beginning. When for the first time the spark of love kindles up within you, it is an unconscious state. And you go on stumbling and groping in dark. The direction may not be right, but intention is always and absolutely right. When the spark of love for the first time kindles in your heart, the intention is absolutely right, but the direction may not be. Love is not ordinary thing that you understand by it. It is not just a biological attraction between man and a woman. Love is not the biological attraction between man and a woman. It is that too, but only in the beginning. It is that too, but only in the beginning. Biological attraction is the first step. That's the beginning of life. Even there, if you look deep down, it is not really an attraction between man and a woman. Instead, it is an attraction between masculine energy and the feminine energy. You are the embodiment of masculine energy and you are naturally attracted to the feminine energy. That attraction is of the energy, masculine energy towards the feminine energy, and the feminine energy towards the masculine energy for the completion. Instead, it is an attraction between masculine and the feminine energy. It is not an attraction merely between A and B. Far deeper mysteries are involved even in your ordinary love affair. Far deeper mysteries are involved even in your ordinary love affairs. Hence, nobody can define love. And love remains undefined and undefinable too. Neither it has been defined nor it can be defined. Thousands of definitions has been tried for love, but all have failed. None could encompass the magnanimity, the sanctity, the glory of love. Love indeed remains indefinable, very elusive and mercurial. The more you want to grasp it, the more difficult it becomes, the farther away it goes. You cannot catch hold of it. You cannot manage to know what exactly it is. You cannot control love. Love remains unknowable. But man wants to know. Because knowledge gives you power. You would like to be powerful over love. But that is impossible, and that's where the mistake happens. Love is far bigger than you. You cannot possess it. You can only be possessed by love. Hence, those who want to possess love never come to know anything about love. Only those who are courageous enough, who are gamblers, who can risk their entire life to be possessed by some unknown energy, are able to know what love is. Love is the first step towards God. Hence, love appears mad to those who are hung up in their heads, hung up in their wisdoms. And because people do not understand the mystery of love, and they try to understand it through the mind, they fail. Love can be understood only through the heart, through qalb. It has to be softened. If your heart, the qalb, is like hard rock, nothing can happen. It has to be softened first. Remember, all that is great happens to the heart alone. Heart is poetic. Mind is barren and desert-like. Heart is the door to all great values of life, to all ultimate values. On the contrary, head remains a useful mechanism. Mind is a gadget. It is good in the marketplace, but utterly useless as far as temple is concerned. Love is the temple and not the marketplace. If you drive love into the marketplace, it is reduced into ugly sexuality. That is what people have done to love. Instead of raising love to the status of God, they have reduced love into ugly, animalistic sexuality. Strangely enough, the priests, the politicians, the Puritans, and all have reduced love into an ugly phenomenon. And the hypocrisy is that all these people have first reduced love to sex and now have become against sex. In the process, they are enemies of sex, and they are the people who have destroyed a tremendously potential energy. Love is the lotus hidden in the mud. Love is the lotus hidden in the mud. Lotus is born out of mud, but never condemn the lotus because it is born out of mud. You do not call lotus muddy, the dirty, you call it purest. It is a symbol of purity. First, love is born out of sex, and then prayer is born out of love. It is sex that becomes love. It is love that becomes prayer. And finally, God is born out of your prayers. God is born out of your prayers. Higher and higher, and higher one goes on soaring in love towards the unknown and unknowable. But the priest and the Puritans have reduced the whole phenomena of love into ugly sexuality. And once love becomes sex, it becomes ugly. And one starts feeling guilty about it. And it is because of this guilt, there is a saying, first sight of love is the last sight of wisdom. I will rephrase it a little bit. I will say first sight of love is the first sight of wisdom. first sight of love is the first sight of wisdom. But it depends on how you look at it. If you look at the potentiality of it, just as seed has the potentiality but it has not become the flower as yet, it is the highest possibility that one can reach, then love becomes a ladder. If you look at the mud and you are utterly blind to the future of mud, then certainly love becomes something ugly and great antagonism arises in you. But to be antagonistic to love is to be antagonistic to God. But to be antagonistic to love is to be antagonistic to God. Once love is reduced to sexuality, of course, then for the first sight of love is the last sight of wisdom. But it depends on you. Why reduce love to sexuality in the first place? Why not change the baser metal into gold? But you need the crucible, you need the fire of love. The fire that is kindled up in the qalb. Why not change the baser metal into gold? Why not learn the alchemy of love? That is what I am teaching here, the alchemy of love. And the priests who know nothing about love because they have never loved, they have renounced the word of love and they go on making great systems of thought against it. These are the people who do not play the game, but they make the rules. They do not know how to play the game, but they make the rules. For centuries, the priests have been making the rules. It is the priesthood all over the world that has condemned a great potential source. In fact, only source of energy. Love is the only source of energy. Once it is condemned, you are condemned, and your whole life will become meaningless. Once sex energy is not allowed to grow to its potential heights, to its natural heights, you are going to live a miserable life. Love is the greatest gift of God. Learn the art of it. Learn the song of it. Learn the celebration of it. Love is an absolute necessity. Just as body cannot survive without food, so too soul cannot survive without love. Love is the nourishment for soul. Love is nourishment for soul. It is the beginning of all that is great. It is the door to the divine. There are three things. Life grows in darkness. Love is part dark, part light. It is the twilight, and then comes the light, the ultimate flowering. Love is the greatest gift of God to mankind. Learn the art of it. Learn the song of it, the poetry of it, the celebration of it. Tune into love. Know the notes of it. Love is the ultimate necessity. Just as body cannot survive without food, so too love is the nourishment for the soul. It is the beginning of something great. It is the door to the divine, door to the unknown and unknowable. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.